It has been almost 3 years since Hailee Steinfeld came out of somewhere and starred in her big, huge debut, True Grit. She played Maddie Ross and she got nominated for an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress. And now she has a brand new movie. She actually has 2 brand new movies coming out very, very soon. But the first movie is called Romeo and Juliet. Yes, it's a familiar name because the story has been done to death a million times, whether it's in play form or movie form. I do remember the 1968 version. I believe that was the first one I ever saw. I think I saw that in high school. I love the music in that, I'd have to say. The music in that is great. But it was the 1996 version with Leo and Claire Danes, and it was done by Baz Luhrmann with the hyper-stylized, probably more style than substance, with overtopness and ridiculousness, and the great, awesome 2 soundtracks. 2 beautiful soundtracks came out of that. But I think that might be the version that I'm in love with the most because it was more modern. It was definitely trying to appeal to the audience of the 90s and giving us really great music. And, you know, instead of having swords, they had guns. This is probably the only William Shakespeare story that has ever really meant anything to me. It's a story that I feel like I can relate to on a human level, and I don't mind the weird dialogue. I understand it's a love story, it's a tragedy, and if they do their things right, I think it can be a really great movie, even though it's been done to death a million times. Now, I tell you why I said somewhere when it came to Hailee Steinfeld. The reason why I say that is because I actually slightly knew her before she actually got the True Grit role. Because I had the awesome privilege and honor of working on 2 short films. One in 2008, a film called Without Wings, directed by Megan Weaver, and in 2009, a short film called She's a Fox, directed by Cameron Sawyer. And she starred in both those films. And I'll put, you know, any kind of video or the trailer in the description box below if you're curious enough to see those films. I actually make a small little cameo in She's a Fox, and if you can find me, let me know. So yeah, I had some expectations seeing this film. I am a huge fan of Hailee Steinfeld, especially having worked with her, and also to see her in True Grit, and she just showed the world that she's going to be something special, and she's going places. With her new movie, Romeo and Juliet, yes, it is the classic tale, and if you really don't know it, is this the best introduction for you? I'd have to say it's not a bad way to be introduced to the story of Romeo and Juliet. It's a really well-produced film, and I think it's strongly acted by everybody involved, especially the 2 leads. We got Romeo, played by Douglas Booth, who I've never seen before, at least I don't recognize him, and of course Hailee Steinfeld plays Juliet. And there's some also recognizable actors like Paul Giamatti and Stellan Skarsgård and Damian Lewis and some more people that I just don't know their names right now. So yeah, it's a really strong cast, and I really loved the sets. Now, I don't know if it was shot on location. It looks like it was shot on some nice locations because the sets are just so amazing. The costume design, all the art direction, the production design, the costume design, that's all Oscar worthy. And I think this is a really well-made film, and it's a good way to introduce probably a younger audience to the actual story. I think Hailee Steinfeld and Douglas Booth give really honest performances. I really believed they had chemistry, that they were falling in love, even though the story is ridiculous in the sense that sometimes I never really believe when people fall in love so fast. But in this one, I just kind of give it a break because it's a story that's old as time, and I buy into it. It's a story that I really like because it's probably the only William Shakespeare story that I actually find any enjoyment for, and I really enjoyed this film. I thought even the people that I recognized did some really great work. I thought Hailee did a fabulous job. It's another great example of her fine acting, and I just look forward to seeing her grow and get better and better and better. She's coming out with Ender's Game in just a month. What else can I say? Some of the things that didn't really jive with me. It does feel a little rushed at times. Some of the scenes where they are fighting with swords felt a little too choreographed and kind of took me out of the experience. A little melodramatic at times, though I think that might be the original material. I'm not really keen on the original material, so I don't know what liberties they took. This is an adaptation by Julian Fellows, who's now working on Downton Abbey, created Downton Abbey. So I don't know how true he is. Some people that probably are more aficionados about William Shakespeare will know, and I'd really be curious to find out. You go see it and let me know. But I felt like this was a really good adaptation, and I was really quite moved, especially near the end of the film. And I do recommend it, especially if you don't really know the Romeo and Juliet story. After you watch this one, go back and watch the 1968 version and also watch the 90s version. The 90s version might be my favorite just because of the awesome soundtrack, and I just love this. I love that it's probably more huge style than substance, but I think this new Romeo and Juliet for 2013 is a great film, and I really enjoyed it, and will probably, I even like the soundtrack. I should say I like the soundtrack. I would definitely own the soundtrack and own this film. I'm going to give Romeo and Juliet 2013 3.5 stars. I'm MovieManCHad. Please like, comment, subscribe to my channel. I'm also on Twitter and I'm on Facebook. And please go to WeLiveFilm.com and subscribe right here on YouTube to We Live Film. And if you love movies as much as I do and love to go to movies almost every day of your life, I highly recommend you check out MoviePass.com. Thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day. Alright, Ender's Game. Let's do this thing. Come on, Haley. You can do it. I believe in you.